Hello guys, it's Redstone Commander here, and I'm going to show you my entire Uncle Milton Space Explorer collection. I have 6 items that I got throughout the collection from 2001 all the way to 2007. That's when they release. So, I'll start you off with the most common, the moon in my room, as you can see by this remote. This was my first Uncle Milton item I ever got. I watched so many YouTube videos of this, and I thought... Actually, I didn't watch YouTube videos of this at first. I actually went to my mom's friend's house who has kids, and they too have a Uncle Milton moon in my room, and they're not the original moon in my room. Well, it is the original regardless, but it's in the but I'm pretty sure it was the National Geographic one. No, I don't think it's the National Geographic one. I'm pretty sure that was the Toys R Us exclusive one, because the remote on theirs doesn't say Uncle Milton on it, and it says scientific or something like that on the remote, so it has to be a Toys R Us marketed version, but it's still the Uncle Milton version. I can still change it manually, or even have it set to change automatically within every few seconds. But that's what all this thing can do. And this actually has 2 different generations. On the first generation, which is basically the original moon in my room that was released around 2005, it actually has a light sensor, so whenever you turn off your room lights from your ceiling fan or your lamp or whatever, it would automatically turn on. But the one I have right now is, even though it has the original box, and the CD still has the light sensor portion, it is actually the second generation, which doesn't have the light sensor and just have the infrared remote functionality, as well as the timer. But regardless, it's still an awesome piece. It's still an awesome collector's item to have hanging on my wall right now. Next is something I used to have before, but now I got to have again. This is the Solar System in my room / Solar System Mobile. This is the one that I used to have since Christmas in 2011. The one I have is not the original. This is a second. The one I have back then was a second generation model from 2011. The one I have right now, if you can see by this remote, is the first generation model. The one I really loved so much. This is probably one of my favorite models out of all of the Uncle Milton ones, because I don't like the second generation one because it doesn't come with an audio tour and that it doesn't have a light pointer feature. This one is my favorite because it has the light pointer feature on the remote, and I just love that thing to death. I will not be having it be taken down anytime soon unless I want to move out. But this is one of my favorites. I have AA's in there because even though it recommends C batteries, I think AA's can work fine on this. You just have to 3D print some casings, or just find 3D printed casings for AA's to C adapters on Etsy to work with this. But anyways, this is another one of my favorites. And it's probably one of my... I'm going to keep on talking about this because I'm still absolutely in love with it. Here's my third item in the collection, which I used to have, or kind of want, is the Star Theater 2. But this is not the original Star Theater 2. This is the SE or Special Edition model. The original Star Theater 2 doesn't have the thicker stand for the wand, for the light sphere wand. The original is a lot more skinnier, but this one actually has a much more thicker one because it has an AC adapter functionality, so I don't have to worry about using batteries. I usually have this AC adapter only. The original Star Theater 2 just has a battery-operated wand with a light sphere that can be removed to replace the bulb, and a Meteor Maker light pointer, which has 2 slides. I took out the original string because it kind of was starting to loosen over time, so I replaced it with a transparent one to match the aesthetic of the base. It does come with 2 slides, but you can also use this as a normal light pointer just by removing one of the slides. This piece kind of broke off, so I hot glued it in place, and the same thing is true for the light sphere, since a tiny piece that holds it in place also broke off. So I just have to keep it hot glued. The SE version actually has 2 features, like the AC adapter, which I just talked about. Actually, 3 features. The AC adapter, yeah, which I just talked about. A night light feature, which is kind of exclusive to the Star Theater 3, which actually this has the night light feature first, but then was carried over to the Star Theater SE, or to the Star Theater 3, which also has a night light feature. But unlike the Star Theater SE, which has a UV light inside, the Star Theater 3 or Star Planetarium model just has a blue LED. But it still lights up the dome. It doesn't have a timer, so you have to turn it off manually. I do have the booklet. I do have the audio tour CD. They are still preserved, and I have them with me at all costs. And when it comes to the audio tour, and to prevent the CD from being damaged over time by using it in the CD player so many times, I use the YouTube video so I can watch it uninterrupted. It's my own version. Anyway, let's just move on. Next is the 3D space projector. This is the National Geographic redesign. They come in multiple different models. There is a standard blue and silver one with the orange accents. There is also a Discovery Kids one, which is black and blue and also has the tiny orange accents, no silver. And there's also a Space Explorer Learning Pack version of the 3D space projector, which matches with the Star Theater SE right next to me. So instead of having the blue and silver accents, it will have the white and silver accents. And I think I like that design a lot more than the National Geographic design. I think the National Geographic one looks too toy-like. I will go for a 3D space projector and Star Theater SE bundle, but if I ever do manage to get the Space Explorer Learning Pack, it's probably just to get the redesign of the 3D space projector. And for the other stuff, like the audio tour CD for the 3D space projector or the Star Theater SE, I'm probably going to have that other Star Theater SE with the Space Explorer Learning Pack to be used just for parts. For example, the light wand with the light sphere that just been snapped, and the Meteor Maker stand that also been snapped off. So for the other ones, I'm probably just kind of have to, for the other Star Theater SE base and maybe the other 3D space projector or maybe the other National Geographic one, I'm probably just going to have to either trade it or sell it. So I can still have a one that's mint condition while still keeping the others in good condition. I still also have the little booklet with the 5 slides and the 3D glasses. Though I do not like the quality of the 3D glasses. They're made out of cardboard, and I think they do not last long. So I wanted to find some real protective glasses and Sharpie them red and blue to make them look more like 3D glasses, and also to improve the quality, I think. Anyway, onwards to the next one. Next is what I consider is the first rarest Uncle Milton item that I never really knew existed. This is the Star Theater, or the Night Sky Navigator. This is supposed to be some sort of helping tool for navigating constellations or finding constellations in the current night sky. It comes with a quick start audio tour. So I have a feeling that Uncle Milton Industries is kind of copying Excalibur, since they also too have a navigator, a night sky navigator of some kind, with an audio tour guide. It has a clock that you can adjust the time with. It even has its own navigational buttons. This is the audio tour button, which allows you to set up the quick start. Well, it's not exactly an audio tour. It's more like some sort of quick start information button. So once you press the information button, you have to press the arrows to proceed on to the next audio to the next audio cue. This mode button turns on the unit, but also changes the look of the viewing window, so you see the constellations or the mystical characters, or both the constellations and characters at the same time. You can be able to adjust it to whatever months you have. For example, it is January, but we are at the end of the month, so closer towards the end of the month. So, if anything, the current time is, I think, 9:45. It is the, hold on, 26. Yeah, the 26th. So it should be looking like this right now. You're supposed to be facing south, unlike the others where it faces north, like the other Uncle Milton project items that you have, like the Star Theater 2, where you have it pointed towards north. This one you have to face south and look up, according to the window, in order for you to see the objects in the sky. Which is why it has a compass, and it's currently pointing north right now. The Star Theater 2 or SE's compass doesn't work at all. So I use the compass on my smartphone, and the markings on the Star Theater 2 guide me to the north, to having it face north. I usually do this every time, regardless of what room I'm in. Yeah. Anyway, you can adjust the time. Anyway, you can adjust it to what it looks like in the current night sky, in the current season and month. And the same thing is true for the Star Theater 2/SE or the Star Theater 3/Star Planetarium models, where you can also adjust it to the current night sky and have it be projected onto the walls and ceiling of any room. As long as it's as long as the walls and ceilings are clear and full, and not full of any obstacles or obstructions that may block the projection. Anyway, that's my Star Theater SE. That's my Night Sky Navigator. And now for the latest. This is the Night Sky Projector Clock, which I'm pretty sure is considered as the holy grail of my Uncle Milton Space Exploration series. This is pretty rare. There were never a lot of these made, and I only find one of them on eBay. I did manage to find some images of this on Google search, and I also did manage to find one at WorthPoint and even some other sites. But this is one of the rarest things I've ever found when it comes to Uncle Milton's space exploration products. I was trying to find for one on eBay, and thankfully I did manage to find one for an awesome deal. And surprisingly enough, it was in the state of where I live, so I managed to get this within 1 or 2 days straight. So I was pretty lucky that I managed to find a super rare Uncle Milton item that no one even knew existed. But I have it. It's right here in my room. I do not like the LCD screen, though. You do have to look at a certain angle in order for you to view it. But it does have the projector functionality, so even if I can't see the LCD screen that well, I can still see the projector. I have it in AC adapter mode. Whenever I want to use batteries, I thought it would take AA's, but no. It doesn't take AA's. It actually takes AAA's to power it. But it also takes 6 volts to operate it as well. You can't see the projector that well because the room lights, even though they're dim, they're still too bright to even see. But you can still see the time. The projection function will only last for about a few minutes. For about maybe at least 3 or 4 minutes until it turns off. It does have an alarm feature. And some of the alarm sounds, if you haven't watched the previous video of this alarm clock, about 2 of those alarm sound effects are actually sound effects taken from the Journey into Space audio tour CD that was originally meant for the 3D space projector, and I thought that was super interesting. When I heard those sounds, I was like, oh my gosh, they have the audio tour Journey into Space sound effects. I knew I had to keep it forever for the rest of my life and preserve it with the best of my ability. So yeah, this is another one of my favorite items, and is probably the first rare Uncle Milton item that I never knew existed. Probably to coincide with the night sky navigator. I am so glad that I have every single Uncle Milton item within the 2003 to 2006 Journey or Space Exploration collection. So here is all the accessories, the booklet and audio tour accessories that come with all of my stuff, mainly the room decoration ones and the projector-based ones. I actually do manage to go to a thrift store and find some CD cases that do match the color scheme of the CDs. I do not have a CD case for the Stellarium program CD-ROM. I still have it somewhere, but it's not with me. I do have all 4 audio tour CDs. Yes, all 4 of them. The Solar System Mobile CD, the Moon in My Room CD, the Star Theater SE or Star Theater 2 CD, and the 3D Space Projector CD. When it comes to the 3D Space Projector and the and the Star Theater 2/Planetarium CD, regardless of what model you pick, or the recolored model you pick, whether it's a National Geographic or Discovery Kids model, or even the Space Explorer Learning Pack Special Edition, or just the normal versions, you would still get the same audio tour regardless of what model you choose. It doesn't matter what brand, it doesn't matter what type of brand or franchise it was that Uncle Milton collaborated with. It doesn't matter what type of recolor design you get to go along that goes along with its collaboration. You would still get those same audio tours regardless. Just a little reminder for you. But anyways, that's my video of the Uncle Milton Space Explorer collection. Thanks for watching.